Let's talk about hair growth patterns. Essentially, we really only have three distinct hair growth patterns. We can create all kinds of fancy strokes if we want to, we can do the whole we can do all kinds of fancy strokes and then go in and fill it in. All of that is all well and good. However, when we're first learning to do permanent makeup, we want to stick to our fundamentals and then practice the harder stuff until we don't get it wrong. Okay? Our practice is going to be to create 100 brows. What we're going to do is focus only on our downward hair growth patterns. The thing is, the other two are really easy to do. And so because they're easy to do, once you practice the one that gives people the biggest challenge, then the others would come really easy. So the first one we're going to do here would be our outward. The front of the brow is always fair game. And what I mean by that is you want to follow the person's natural hair growth pattern, right? And so if they have 2 or 3 little hairs to the front, you just go in between them and fill them out. This would be your outward because all of the hair is growing outward. So what you're going to do, it's just a few of these to practice. You're not going to do a whole lot because, like I said, these are the outward ones. They're really simple to complete. And so you don't want to spend your time doing things that's going to come easy to you. You want to spend your time doing the things that's going to be difficult so that I can help you along the way. All right? And when the client is in front of you, you don't feel the pressure as if you don't know what you're doing. Remember this, most people are going to come to you with the hair stroke pattern that's most difficult. This is your outward growing hair pattern, okay? Hair growth pattern. Okay, now let's do the inward. Your inward hair growth pattern is pretty much the same thing. We're always going to follow what the person is working with. If the person's coming in with no hair, this is when you focus on learning one particular pattern or 2 or 3, how many ever you want to, learning them well enough that that one person with alopecia who doesn't have a lot of hair or whatever it might be, that you can service them. This is your inward pattern. It's almost like a fish, like the fish, the herring tail, not the fish, the herring tail, where it grows inward, right? So you have these going inward into the tail of the brow. These, you still have the transition where it's coming down, but now it's inward instead of coming all the way down to the tail. The hair grows inward like that. Okay, all right, so this would be your inward hair growth pattern, right? And then we have the one that's most challenging. This is the one you're going to practice until you never get it wrong, because this is the one that most people are walking around with. And so they're going to be looking to make sure that you make their brows look as natural as possible. With this hair growth pattern, it's called downward because all of the hair is growing downward. There's a transition that takes place. And so you want to follow the way the hair naturally grows. And most of the time, it's because our clients are going to come in with hair that grows up, over, and down. Up, over, and down. And so you have to know this transition. It is really, really important. Okay, so you're gonna practice this. You're gonna practice these for a little bit, make sure you get them, and then you're gonna practice this one and make sure you understand and get the flow. There are a couple of little tips and tricks you can use to get it, and one of them is to use a guide. So like before, where we did the top of the brow, bottom of the brow, bottom of the brow, top of the brow, tail of the brow, right? 2/3, 1/3, 1, 2, 3. And then top of the brow, top of the arch, bottom of the front of the brow, bottom of the arch, tail. Okay? Now, if we were to cut the brow in 3 and then draw a horizontal line going through, a diagonal line, a diagonal line going through, then you start doing your strokes. If you look at this, it almost looks like a leaf, right? Like a palm plant. If we take just this portion alone and place it here, then we have them laying like that. If you take this portion and place it here, you have these laying on this side. The only difference is, see how this has a little bit of a curl, like this has a curl? This one will be going out, right? Going down, because we're going to be using this one over here. So if you follow the pattern you placed and then start merging into your diagonal line, and then you're merging into the line here as well, you're able to create the transition much easier if you just follow along the line and you want to go in the middle. When you're practicing, don't focus so much on getting it right. But once you figure out your flow, once you understand how to go up, transition, and then go down, then you're going to start your homework. Okay? And I'm going to do that in another video.